Hi, welcome to my video vlogs. This is my first vlog. Some of you may have seen my transgender video. Well, I was talking about, I was putting my transition into, I was trying to put it on film for some people. I saw the idea of a few other trans were tracking their transition as far as pictures and videos and video blogs. But, I kind of fell off with that simply because, at the time, stuff was just crazy. So I'm back. I'm trying something new, trying to do this video blog thing, see how it works out. And so tonight I'm going to talk about something that's kind of, dear to me. It's a personal opinion. So no one take it personally. I might say some things that some people just don't agree with, but, it's just my personal opinion. It's not facts. It's just, what I view life as. Okay. So, as a transgender, a lot of people have the conception and that, we fall into one of, a few categories. Either we're the ones that's like really pretty or you're the ones that's ugly, but, otherwise, a lot of us, not all, but, regular ones that, are still struggling through their transition. A lot of us get the rap that we all are sex workers or we're just like, very promiscuous girls, promiscuous girls, and I'm neither, right? So, then you have, guys that, we've called, by different names, but the most, what's the word I'm looking for? The most current, up-to-date, popular name would be tranny Jesus. Me personally, I'm not really a fan of tranny Jesus. Simply because, from my experience, once they've, caught you or they've achieved their goal or whatever it is they were looking for, they're out the door. You're an illusion. A lot of them don't actually see us as women. We're something foreign, something exotic, but we're not human to them. We're like, just we're trannies to them. That's it. That we're not human beings. We're like sex objects that, you have your own fetish with, and then that's the end of that. So my personal issue with that is, when you get to a point where, you're comfortable in your transition, and you're ready to settle down, have a regular life. Whereas, people's definition of regular life is, it's a lot of different things. But, when you get to the point where you're like, okay, I think I want a boyfriend, I'm comfortable with my body, and, I'm just ready for that. Here comes this guy, and he's like, oh, Mom, you're so pretty, or, all these different things you want to hear. As a woman, you want to hear these things. And he's promising you the world, which, men will be men. Not slamming into you, but I'm just telling you how it is. But to them, it's a sport. If he gets in your drawers, he's gone. To the next tranny. If he doesn't get in your drawers, then he's upset and he's still on to the next tranny. That's what he does. He's, from one girl to the next. Whose boobs are bigger? Whose ass is fatter? That's just, just how it is. So, I had a guy, what made me bring up this subject is I had a guy actually asked me on a website I won't disclose I was on, but a guy actually asked me. He's like, "What is a tranny chaser?" So I'm explaining it to him, and he's like, "So what about real love and all this other BS?" Because he was obviously a tranny chaser, but he's like, trying to get me to rationalize it. And I'm like, dude, let's be serious. For one, you can never build a true foundation off of anything you're saying. I can't trust that we're gonna, be together. We're gonna be in any of these things that you want outside of sex. So I'm gonna pass. I am. You know, I have too much respect for me myself to just be jumping from dude to dude. That's just not me. I'm not. I'm a flirt, don't get me wrong. I flirt until you believe we have something going on. But as far as, say, oh yeah, I'm with you today, I'm with you tomorrow, when we can, do something the next week, it ain't me. So, that's just my personal problem with that. Okay, well, enough about that. We're going to move right on to the next subject. Because, I just want y'all to get a feel for who I am. Since this is my first video blog, but I really don't want it to be my last. So, also in my transition, I've come across girls who are not as far along or whatever. And, they look for guidance, especially girls who are just kind of like fresh into it. They look for guidance. And they look for guidance from, girls that they see who are already transitioning, who already started taking hormones, who've already, achieved some type of satisfaction as far as being a woman. Nobody's definition of a woman is the same, but my problem with some of the older girls is everyone's advice is not good advice. Everyone's idea of what you should look like as a transsexual isn't always the image you might have. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to lie to you. I have my biases as far as, transsexuals are. I have my biases. I keep them to myself because, who am I to judge you? If you're bold enough to come out like that, then, by all means live your life. But, not off topic, some of these girls, they'll tell you, you're a pretty girl to start off with. And they'll tell you, oh girl, you need to do this, and oh girl, you need to do that, and, if you're a girl with low self-esteem, and you're around some of these catty girls, they don't make it easier. They don't, they'll be the reason you stop transitioning. Or they'll be the reason you don't feel up to par with your transition, whatever. So, my personal advice, because, I'm like the mother hen type. I just find myself being like that. A lot of girls gravitate towards me. And don't get me wrong, I'm not really that far along in my transition. But I've been doing this long enough to know, something. I've been doing this long enough to give you some type of advice. My personal advice to young girls coming out, to girls who are, just now transitioning, take your time. Take your time. Do it right. And first and foremost, make sure it's something you want to do. It's not something you do and then it's like, okay, whatever, I'm going to, end it later when I got, C-cup boobs. It's too late then. Which is really never too late if you got money. You got money, it's never too late. So you can, always revert back, but it's always something you should always thoroughly think about. Make sure this is the lifestyle you want to live. because it's not always an easy lifestyle, especially if you live in an urban area or, you know, down south somewhere where, you know, forgive me for saying, they ain't too trans friendly. You want to think about this. You know yourself better than anybody else does. Just keep it real. You know yourself better than anyone else does. So when you go through this, you need to really just be honest with yourself. Are you going to feel comfortable living this lifestyle for the rest of your life? Because it's what it is. It's a lifestyle. It's not, you know, something you do one day and you put down the next. Because once you start taking hormones and your body changes, and there's permanent, you know, changes, like, you know, getting boobs and stuff like that, you're stuck with them boobs, man. And sometimes the weight you gain, you can't get rid of. Especially like some of the girls taking Depo. The weight you gain is very hard to get rid of once you've gained it. So it's like, you know, it's a decision you have to make. When I first started transitioning, I remember, you know, seeing a lot of girls who had, you know, silicone and, you know, different, we call it getting surged or getting pumped or whatever. They had a lot of that going on. And at first, I was like, oh no, bitch, I'm not going nowhere near that. You bitches look crazy with all this stuff in your face. You know, bitch, how dare you? I mean, what the fuck? Excuse my language. But now I'm saying, I tell a girl, if you're going to get silicone, if it's really just in your book, that's just the look for you, this is what you want to do. You want to have, you know, the body and the boobs, but you ain't going to go get it done in the hospital. Little is the best results. You know, you can deal... I said that wrong. Little can take you a long way. Because don't get me wrong, I have girlfriends that have silicone and you probably would never even know they have it. It just looks really pretty, you know. They feel more, you know, far along in a transition. It's not my personal choice, but I do have girlfriends who haven't taken it to the extreme. Which even the girls who take it to the extreme, I have a few of them girlfriends also, and if that's your choice, then by all means. But consider the risk. Just consider that when you get, if you know, 16 years old, and it's fab, and all the girls is getting, you know, pumped, and, you know, they're getting this new body. Consider what it's going to be like when you're 35. Still drops. It does. It drops, it moves. It's not in bags like, you know, if you go to the doctor. It moves. And I've seen cases where it moves from a girl's butt down to her kneecaps. I've actually seen it. And she don't have to get it removed, like actually go get it scraped out and stitches and everything. So you have to be sure that's what you want to do. But I'm gonna kind of wrap this up because I'm starting to see this video. It's really long. I'm out. Peace.